Good Tuesday morning to you. So the first thing that I do every single morning before I prep my forecast, before I even get started, super early, is take a walk outside. First thing. And when you do that, unless you've already done that this morning, you can feel it too. The weather pattern is changing. It's the first thing I noticed this morning, even before I was completely awake. Whatever it is you're sensitive to, I felt the winds had picked up a little bit this morning. Southern parts of the forecast area, we got some showers popping through this morning. Not unexpected. Didn't talk about those yesterday, but just enough of a disturbance got going this morning to give us a few showers and some rumbling thunder down here south of the area. Nothing to worry about though. These are pretty much swept out of the area, but it does kind of signal, right? It signals the change that's about to happen. It's going to keep us unsettled through the rest of the week. Going to bring us some significant chances for showers and thunderstorms all week long. Got a little bit of a change in the severe weather outlook that has popped up for tomorrow afternoon and evening. That'll be Wednesday afternoon and evening. So we'll go over all that and more in today's forecast, brought to you by State Line Group. Please keep these guys in mind. You're looking at their phone number. You can check them out on Facebook. They have awesome examples of some of the work that they have done. TikTok as well. You can find State Line Group from Hume, Missouri. Small projects, large projects, dirt hauling, gravel spreading, and storm shelters. All that and more. Check them out, 660-679-1103. State Line Group and Kyle Best over in Hume bringing you the forecast today. So here is the setup. This is actually what is going on overhead that's going to kind of set the stage for the next couple of days. So I'm using a wind map here to illustrate this cold front that is currently parked up as about 7 o'clock this morning out northwest of the region. So we are going to warm up today. Don't worry about that. But what is actually happening is a cold front is popping through the region. You can see it here. And what I'm illustrating now is that it's actually going to park out over the region today. Here it is kind of up by St. Louis going down here towards like Fort Scott, Kansas. That's where it's going to stall out, we think, later today. So that's going to become the impetus for some of the storms that we're going to see later on today. So speaking of storms, let's get into today, and we'll talk about tomorrow, and then I'll talk again about Friday, keeping my eye on that as well. So here is the severe weather outlook for today. 1 out of 5 marginal risk covers all of our area. That's going to be these storms are going to move in later this afternoon and evening. I'll go over those in just a second. Do think they'll be a little bit stronger out to our west. I'll show you that as they come our direction. It's optimism, so I can quell some anxiety. I'm not sure how strong they will be. Like I say, I think the greater threat today may be earlier in the afternoon out to our west. But we'll be weather aware this afternoon and evening for possibly some strong storms moving through in that marginal 1 out of 5 risk for today, covering all of our area. Let's talk about tomorrow. Here's your severe weather outlook for Wednesday. Been upgraded to a slight risk. That's in the yellow, 2 out of 5, covering all of east central Kansas here, and a little bit of west central Missouri and the Kansas City region and to the north. So do you think we will be dealing with the possibility of some stronger storms tomorrow afternoon and evening? So there's a couple variables in there in terms of what the threats will be, but right now we do have the availability of all of the threats. We do have a limited tornado threat. There's a couple of reasons that I can say that anything that happens right now with this particular orientation, if storms get going tomorrow afternoon, I'm not sure that we're going to see those super discrete cells out in front, and that's where we typically watch for the greatest tornado risk. So there may be more clustering of storms. We can still have a tornado risk. Hopefully anything that does spin up is much more short-lived in terms of duration. So, but it is there. So it is a limited tornado threat for tomorrow as well, as is wind and hail. I think that's the big thing. Wind and hail, again, are going to be our biggest threats with this particular round. And again, I'm talking about tomorrow, Wednesday, not tonight. So we have another 24 hours of data that we get to analyze in the morning before we get any deeper into that. Thursday is kind of a break day. I do think we have some showers in the region. Friday, I've been talking to you about Friday. That's a day I see all the ingredients possibly coming together for a severe weather threat. Storm Prediction Center going ahead with this 15% probability of severe weather picking up most of our area for Friday. So there is your week in a nutshell. Let's kind of see what this looks like in the near term. We're looking at model data now. This is not current radar. So here we are at about 6 p.m. tonight. Do think that we will see some storms getting started out here. Where are we at? Howard, Neodesha, Chanute, Yates Center, and Iola. That'll probably be our first clue. And this is between 5 and 7 p.m. this evening. So these storms are going to work their way off to the east. So we'll be watching for showers to arrive here in Butler, Eldo, Fort Scott, clear over to Chanute and Parsons. And what time are we up to here? This is about 10 p.m. So between 9 and 10 p.m. tonight, we have a little storm orientation like this coming through, and we can expect that some of these storms may possibly be elevated. So we could be talking about some hail in with these storms, as long as some wind gusts as well. So all this looks to move through. Let's see. This is about 1 a.m. So here we are about 2 a.m. This moves through overnight, just taking its time. You guys can see, let me back this up just a little bit, clustered storms all over the place. A couple of them may be strong. So we're talking about, 11 p.m. to 1, 2 a.m. Around, say, Paola, Garnett, Fort Scott, Butler, Clinton, over towards Cole Camp for some possibly stronger isolated thunderstorms to move through the area. So that takes care of tonight. So we roll up into tomorrow. Looking at tomorrow morning now, I think we have a good, strong break. I really can't rule out a few pop-up showers. Not looking for too much more than that. But as we get into tomorrow night, this is what we're talking about here. Here's Wednesday. Remember, again, we're in that SPC 2 out of 5 risk area as we start to see maybe a line of showers and thunderstorms developing out here from Manhattan to Wichita, working its way to Pica, Emporia. So this would be at about 7 p.m., 7 p.m. So here's what I'm seeing tomorrow night that gives me a little bit of optimism. Let me go ahead and put up one measure of instability for storms to work with, and this would be available energy CAPE. So it is strong out here along that line, you guys can see, but watch what happens as I go later into the evening. At least according to one forecast model, kind of fades. So later on over in the evening, we do have, as far as eastern Kansas and western Missouri, we do have some significant energy still left for these storms to work with as we approach 10, 11, and midnight, but it's less than it had out to the west. So once again, by the time that storms get here, this is like midnight tomorrow night, Wednesday night, Thursday morning, that I see storms in the KC region working their way down state line again around midnight. By then, I think there's limited instability. So we can still have strong winds. We can still have elevated storms bringing us that large hail threat. But things should be on the way down. So that's a good sign for tomorrow night. So like I said, we'll check that again in the morning, see if that looks to hold. But here we are between midnight and 1 a.m. Wednesday night over into Thursday morning. Looks to be the stronger line of showers and thunderstorms moving through. So it's going to be the way of things for the next couple days, my friends. So what's all this going to bring us? Well, rain amounts keep trending down. So I'm looking for maybe up around 3 inches of rainfall up in the Kansas City area, something like 2 to 2.5 inches for east central Kansas. Pretty much the same thing, maybe just a little bit more out here in west central Missouri, might be around 2.5 inches. But thunderstorms is hard. This is what I was posting about the other day. If you get a couple of rounds of thunderstorms or training of thunderstorms, which I didn't really see in the data this morning, but you get one or more thunderstorms over an area, these numbers will change dramatically. So I think widespread overall, we're looking for 2.5 inches of beneficial rainfall out of all of that I just described. All right, here's your 10-day forecast. So obviously paying attention to that big cold front Friday night into Saturday, do still think that a warm Friday, which we may have here, 81 degrees, does set the stage for some Friday afternoon showers and thunderstorms. So keep an eye on that. It's the time of year when everybody's gearing up big Friday night plans. I am paying attention to that. I know that as well. So I'll do the best that I can for you looking at Friday evening. So in the meantime, it's 80s and 70s. That cold front does knock us down, so it looks like we'll be a little bit cooler headed into the weekend and to start off next week as well. So plenty to pay attention to. I will start watching this afternoon. Like I say, watch the Facebook page for posts about things. If I need to jump on here and go live, that's just going to be our policy this week. I will when I feel the need. So that is how we'll do it this week. Lock in. Appreciate you being with me. Have an awesome day. Catch you later.